Hello, it is Monday and it is a new weekly reading vlog. We are cracking off this Monday with not great news, I am not gonna lie. So I took Betty to the vets this afternoon, and it's not great news. She is definitely egg bound, but that is not the least of her problems. Basically she is so malnourished and emaciated that she's so weak she can't push the egg out, and that is the problem. So like there's a problem with her crop. She's got an issue with her crop. She's got an issue with there's another thing, I can't remember what it's called. An issue with something else, I can't remember what it's called. And then she's egg bound as well. And the vet is not optimistic, let's say that. I've brought her home. And we are going to try and do some more Epsom salt baths tonight. And if we can't get the egg out, like the vet's given us like a bit more advice for the bath. So like he was like, you've done everything right, you've done everything you can. Like here's just how you step up a notch to try and go into like extreme mode. So like we're doing that. And so we're going to do that tonight. Nothing that's going to harm it. Like not like we're not going to do anything that's like harming her. Like just like instead of, so like some people do like one Epsom salt bath. Last night we did 2 and we were like, oh, that's maybe too much. He was like, give her at least 3 Epsom salt baths, an hour apart for at least half an hour. So we're going to do like at least 3 half-hour Epsom salt baths an hour apart. We're also going to lube up her little butt. She's got a lot of lube there from the vet, so hopefully that'll help with the egg. He said it is a big egg as well, which does not help. And like he said, like he said you've done everything right, got her somewhere quiet, she's comfortable, she's with Epsom salt baths and things like that. And he said she's been ill for a long time. He thinks the egg binding is something that's actually like being caused by the malnutrition and the issue that she's been, like he said, like she didn't get this ill in the time you've had her. He was like, this has been going on for a while, because we've only had them, like you've seen how long we've had them. He said there's absolutely no way this could have happened, and he's like, this has been going on for a while. He was like, she would have been in that state when you got her. But they go in and out of lay, so like they go through periods of like they'll be laying and then they'll go out of lay. And so like we think she's come into lay now, and now the problem's been made apparent, because we've just been like focused on trying to get them fed up because they're really skinny. So we've been just trying to get them like eating good food and like stuff like that, thinking that they just need to eat, whereas turns out she's been not eating for so long that she's struggling now. So yeah, the vet is not the most optimistic at the moment. And maybe I'm being delusional, but I'd like to try and help her for a little bit longer before we give up on her. But I'm also not going to push her beyond what is reasonable. So we're going to try some more tonight, and see how she goes till tomorrow. So yeah, this afternoon has not been a happy fun time. Betty, like I said, is my favourite hen that we've got. The other 2 are just fed up little monsters. Not that I would wish this on them either, but it's also hot as hell today and like soup outside. It's so hot and humid and horrible. So I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all. But yeah, so now I'm just going to be waiting for Kay to come back. I took my watch off to go to the vets because I knew I was going to be handling Betty. I am going to be reading my pages until Kay comes home. Oh my god, I can't get my watch on. There we go. So I did manage to read some more before I went to bed last night. So I've been reading 100 pages at a time of this. So I've got about half of my pages read last night of this. And then I need to get another at least 100 pages into this. So yeah, and that'll be my pages for today. I also need to edit and post my vlog to go up tomorrow. If anything ends up getting delayed, tough. We need to brine the chicken. So she comes first. Hamish, as always, has been such a good boy. He didn't even flinch at me taking the chicken in and out. She's sitting in the bathroom, door's open, that door's open. He is lying on the couch, not even fussed about her, which is great. It's nice to know that he's not being a little terror. I think that's it. That's your quite depressing update for Monday. Let's hope the rest of the week goes a bit better. But I feel like it's not going to be a great week. Hello. It is Tuesday. Bit of a sad update for you all. So as you know, we were supposed to be calling the vet for Betty today. We ended up not getting there because she passed away on her own terms this morning at about 9 o'clock. In the morning, Kay had gone through a check on her and she had just slipped away. So yeah, we're both very upset. It's now 2:30. We contacted the vet to let them know. We've buried her and been doing some other bits and bobs and getting things cleaned up and whatever. But yeah, she just obviously was too weak. She couldn't manage it. So I thought I'd just update you on that. So now we're just going to be I don't know. But yeah, so that's about it. Hello. It is Tuesday evening. I don't know what's happening with my hair. I fell asleep earlier on my chair because it's been a very emotionally draining day. As you can imagine. Yeah, it's been quite emotionally. I went to work and my boss just sent me home. She was like, just go home. She asked me how I was. Like, she knew, like, that Betty wasn't doing great, and she asked me how she was, and I just, like, I told her that she'd gone about an hour before, and she was like, do you want to go home? And I was like, no, I'll be fine. She was like, go home. Because she's my boss is a horse girl, and so she's around, like, she doesn't have a horse anymore. She's had issues with her back and she can't ride anymore. But she's still, like, she spent her life around horses and farm animals and stuff like that. Our friends still have horses and farm animals and stuff like that. And she knows, like, a lot of people would be like, oh, it's just a chicken. But, like, she knows it's, like, you know, you get attached, even having them for a short time. You know, animal lovers are animal lovers. Anyway, like, you know, it's not just anything. But yeah, so I came home, we buried her, and we ended up going to the garden centre for lunch with Kay's mum and dad, because we were all really hungry after. Just, like, you know, you get upset and you get, like, Kay was hungry. Our dad was hungry from digging a hole. And when we were there, we saw these little chicken garden ornaments, not like stone ones, but like realistic-y looking ones. And we got one for the garden, just little brown hens. So it's now in the rockery, just kind of like opposite almost my turtle. So that was nice to get as well. But and then we've just been sort of doing washing and stuff because we used a lot of towels for like once we're thinking we're drying her and like to keep her warm and stuff like that, and we're using blankets to keep her warm and stuff, you know. So we're just getting all that cleaned up because various things, like she was not well and stuff like that, and body fluids, and obviously her being an outside animal and her not being in great condition, she had like anyway, like just wanting to get it all washed and stuff like that. So we've been doing that side of things and getting the bathroom cleaned down and stuff like that. So I ended up, Kay fell asleep earlier and then I fell asleep later on. But I also managed to get some reading in, shockingly. So I managed to finish The Forgotten Shore. This was unfortunately my not unfortunately my 5-star prediction. This is my 5-star prediction for the readathon. Unfortunately it wasn't 5 stars, it was a 4-star. It was not what I thought it was going to be at all. It wasn't like suspenseful and mysterious and like verging on like, not thriller-esque, but like that mystery sort of like suspense, like, you know, that sort of suspenseful, like it didn't like hold on to the mystery until the end, which is what I thought it was going to be. I thought the whole book was going to be like the digging and trying to figure out what happened to Archie and things like that. The mystery is solved very, very, very quickly. It's, well, the main mystery of like where he went and stuff like that is solved very, very quickly, and it's basically like there's family secrets and stuff like that, like twist and turn, and none of it's particularly like shocking. It's very predictable, which isn't a bad thing. It's a nice, like, you know, it's like kind of like a it'd be almost like a season of a quickfire season of Downton Abbey, but Scottish. Is almost like, you know, that's what it's kind of like. So I wasn't mad at all, but it was just slightly disappointing that it's not what I thought it was going to be. That's the only thing. But yeah, it was interesting. I just feel like it could have gone in a bit more, you know. That's where I always get disappointed in books, when I feel like it's kind of like skimmed the surface and they really could have dug in and gotten something really, like, you've got a good concept, you just needed to like could have gripped people a lot more. So yeah, you know, it was believable. It was certainly believable, but it was very much like you could have really dug in more and made it really, really suspenseful and really like edge of your seat, and they've just not done it. And then as well, I also managed to finish cleaning. So these two made up my pages for the day. I've actually gone slightly over my pages for the day. Each book had like 100 pages. Plus a little bit more. This one had like 126 pages to go, and this one had 151 pages to go. So yeah, I've like gone over my 200 pages per day that I'm trying to read. So I finished both of these. Really enjoyed Cleanings. That last story made me so happy. I was absolutely devastated by something that happened in the Toll. In the Toll? Or in Thunderhead? In Thunderhead. This resolved something that happened in the main series for me that I did not expect to be resolved. It wasn't necessarily resolvable, if that makes sense. It will only make sense if you know what the last story in this is. So, yeah. It makes me very happy to know that this has happened. Although very sad to know about something else. But yeah, this is really interesting. I'm really glad that this has been done. Like, it was really interesting. It was so cool to learn about some of the different areas as well. So like there's different areas within the South. No, I stop saying within the South. There's different areas within the world where I think are they called charter areas. So like Antarctica is one, Tasmania is another, Texas is another, and I'm sure there are others, but those are the ones that are like sticking out in my head at the moment. So Texas have no laws at all, which, I mean, it's Texas, and the scythes are only allowed to glean by Bowie knife. Bowie knife? Bowie knife. Bowie knife is how I want to say it, and Bowie knife is what came out of my mouth. Tasmania, everybody has some kind of body mod, and I mean like crazy body mods, like somebody has wings. Like wings. Like people have crazy body mods. Antarctica, they all have a shared dreamscape. When they sleep at night, like everybody shares a dream. Or shares dreams. Like they have a shared dream network. And you don't see really these areas in the main series. So these short stories kind of, there's one for each area. Or kind of, Texas not quite so much. But like, there was one just there for Antarctica, and so you get to explore the dreamscape and kind of understand what it's more like. So that made it a lot more interesting, and kind of explain how the dreamscape works. So it's kind of like a fun fair where you go in and you can go in different, like, there's like different numbers you can go to, so you can go to dreamscape 1 through whatever, and you can choose an avenue that you want to go down. Like if you want to go to dreamscape number 27, each one has a different dreamscape you can go to, and it's like a shared, you can meet different people and stuff like that, and it's all the people that live in Antarctica have access to this dreamscape. It's really cool. Or you can have like bespoke dreamscapes. It's so interesting. But yeah, all this talk about dreamscapes is making me tired. Yeah, there was one as well in this called Meet Cute and Die, and it was so funny. So funny, because it's literally like, because like in the world of the scythedom, in the world of the Ark of the Scythe, because immortality has been achieved, people can't die unless they're gleaned by a scythe, or like their body is rendered in a way that their body is not recoverable, and so you go deadish. And so there's this, like, this story is about this meet cute, basically, where this guy falls out a window and literally lands on this woman, and they are both rendered deadish. And it's just like... And then they go on a date, and it's like... That is the dumbest way to meet someone, but also so funny. Yeah. Also, I'd like to just, like, shout out the Whatever Thorn bookmark for being the best option for reading a Ark of the Scythe book. It's the Shelf Slayers one. Excellent choice. So yeah, next I'll be reading, I can't remember what it's called now, because I've not got it in its dust jacket. Oh, we're reading, I'll put it in this book sleeve. It seemed wrong to put it in my Heartstopper book sleeve. But it is the Blackbird Oracle by Deborah Harkness. It will be my next read. I will probably get something else to read as well, because I was doing really, really well. Like, it was really helping me get through books to read, like, oh my god, I can't pick it up, 100 pages of Gleanings, and then 100 pages of another book, and then go back to 100 pages of Gleanings, and it was helping me get through my 200 pages. But with the Blackbird Oracle, because it's going back to Diana and Matthew, I might just like charge all the way through it, because, oh, I cannot tell you how much I'm excited. I never ever thought we would get back to, like, I never ever thought Deborah Harkness would write more in this world. And I love A Discovery of Witches so much, so I'm so excited to get back into Diana and Matthew's world. But it is like, and it's only 11 o'clock, but I'm going to go to bed. I'm absolutely shattered. I have had like at least an hour's nap on this chair, but like I said, I'm emotionally exhausted from today. I really stupidly thought we had a chance to save Betty. I think the vet must have thought I was being stupidly naive to think that, but he never said that. To be fair to him, I suppose stranger things have happened. But, you know, at least everybody keeps saying, like, she was somewhere safe and comfort and things like that. So we did the best we could for her, and she, like, you know, she was somewhere safe, she was somewhere quiet, she was somewhere comfortable, and she was getting, I mean, she spent last night sleeping on Kay's knee, so, you know, she was, hopefully she knew she was cared for and loved. So I just dropped that pill. I hope, I don't know, like, the cognitive abilities of birds, but I hope on some level she was aware that she was really cared for. It's just a bloody shame how poorly she was treated before we got her, and that the outcome is that she's no longer with us. And yeah, so we're gonna do, the other two birds are going to get health checks from the vet. Sorry, I'm just dishing up my meds for tomorrow and tonight. The other two birds are going to get, the other two girls are going to be getting health checks from the vet. I don't think they're in anywhere near as bad condition, simply because they are eating, they are able to eat, and we can see, like, they've got no feathers, or very little feathers on their chest, so we can see that they've got, like, she was concaved in the front, when you, like, pull their feathers back, you could see she was concaved in the front, whereas we can see that they've got, like, structure in the front, but you just, we're not vets, we don't know, we don't really know anything about chickens, we're trying our best, and that her condition came as a shock because she looked so healthy because she had all of her feathers. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go to bed because, like I say, it is like later, and I'm tired, you know. I'm just, this is, all of my vlogs are going to be from this position and this angle this week. So that's fun. I got some book mail today that I'm very excited about. I am very excited. Don't let this fool you. I'm just also very, very tired. Again, sorry about the fish tank. It's tropical, so it's warm, so it evaporates very quickly. Book mail. First of all, I got yet another edition of The Secret Garden. I'm now collecting them, apparently. But when I saw this secondhand, I couldn't not. Look at this beautiful. See, they'd used a stock photo instead of a photo of the actual book, so I didn't know I had this. So I'm very not pleased about that. But this said it was in the same condition as the Tessa Bailey book that I was complaining about a few weeks ago. And oh, it has a little, that's just the, okay. And look, no creases. So yeah, this is in very good condition. I can tell it's probably been read, like, because the pages aren't, like, tightly packed, like, it's, see how it's kind of, but it's not creased, it's generally, and I'm very, very happy with the condition, but I just think this is beautiful, and I'm very, very happy with it. So yeah, this will be added to my collection of, and it's embossed, like the actual like the title and stuff, it's tactile rather than just printed. But I just think this is absolutely stunning. It's so beautiful. with the, and I love like the design, like it fits so well for the secret garden, going towards like the door. It's just, I just love it. I think it's beautiful, and for £2 and £1 delivery, like, you know, how can I say no? The other thing that I'm very excited about, and I'm extra excited about this, is The Truth According to Ember by Danica Nava. This is a romance. It's supposed to be a rom-com. It's like being advertised as a rom-com, and it is Danica Nava's debut novel. And I believe I put it on my Instagram stories. I reposted something. I believe it is the first rom-com by an indigenous. Why can I suddenly not say that word? Indigenous Native American author. Rom-com. Did I say that? The first rom-com by a Native American Indigenous author that has been picked up by a major publishing house. So this has been published by, where are we? Penguin Random House. And Danica herself is a Native American author. She is, so it says here, she is an enrolled citizen of the Chickasaw Nation and works as an executive assistant in the tech industry. She has an MBA from USC Marshall School of Business, and she currently lives in Southern California with her husband and daughter. And The Truth According to Ember is her debut novel. So, yes, this is her debut novel, and I'm very excited to read it. It is a and it's a rom-com. Again, it says it's a rom-com. It says a Chickasaw woman who can't catch a break serves up a little white lie that snowballs into much more in this witty and irresistible rom-com by debut author Danica Nava. Why did I stumble over the word debut? Because I'm so tired, that's why. So I'll read you the synopsis. Emberly Cardinal has not always been a liar. Well, not for anything that counted at least. But her job search is not going great. And when her resume is rejected for the 37th time, she takes matters into her own hands. She gets creative in listing her qualifications and answers the ethnicity question on applications with a lie. A half lie, technically. No one wanted Native American Ember, but white Ember just landed her dream accounting job on Park Avenue. Oklahoma City, that is. Accountant Ember thrives in corporate life, and her love life seems to be looking up as well. Danua Coulson, the IT guy and fellow native who caught her eye on the first day, seems to actually be interested in her too. Despite her unease over the no dating policy at work, they start to see each other secretly, which somehow makes it even hotter. But when they're caught in a compromising position on a work trip, a scheming colleague blackmails Ember, threatening to expose their relationship. As the manipulation continues to grow, so do Ember's lies. She must make the hard decision to either stay silent or finally tell the truth, which could cost her everything. Okay, I pre-ordered this so long ago that I could not remember what it was about. So the blurb in the back says, fresh, funny and full of heart. This is a romance I won't soon forget. And that's from Chloe Leese, who is an author we all know I absolutely adore. And then the one in the front is a fresh, exciting new voice in the world of romantic comedies. And that's from Emily Henry. So it's blurred by two of my favourite romance authors. And it is one of the sort of debut romance novels from a Native American author. So how can this be a lose situation in any way, shape or form? It sounds really interesting. I slightly again, could not remember. I don't even know, do you know what? I could have read the synopsis, I might not have read the synopsis. I don't even know at this point because I have memory like a goldfish. Like a really, really forgetful goldfish. And the whole thing about having to lie and say she's white, especially with certain things that are going on in the world right now, things like that just give me the rage. Because why? You shouldn't have to. It shouldn't even be a factor. Anyway, like, what is your ethnicity, race, anything like that? What's that got to do with your qualifications? Anyway, that is not the problem we are here to solve right now. But yeah, I am really excited to read this. It is a lens, obviously, that I have not read before. So I'm really excited to add this to my collection. It is absolutely stunning. Like, look at how beautiful this cover is. The purple, the blue, like, the vibrant colours. It's a pretty. And even, I don't think you can see this, but, like, the blue shine on his hair. And then, like, the brown. I'm really bad with shades of brown. Like, mahogany and, like, stuff. Like, I would call that mahogany. But I'm not entirely sure I know what mahogany is. So, like, but, like, I love details like that. Like, the fact that they've, again, I don't know if you can see this, but, like, they've factored in, like, the shine all the way down the plate. Pleat. I don't know, you know, they've factored that in, like, all the way down his hair. And, like, they've factored that in all the, like, see when a cover designer just does their job so beautifully. Like, even her nails are painted. Like, I think it's too blurry for you to see. Like, I don't know, there's something so striking about this cover. Like, even the back. Like, I was actually saying this about Project Hail Mary the other day when I got it. Like, I really like this cloud stylization on Project Hail Mary. It's, like, obviously different colours. But I just love this, like, cloud style. So yes, I'm very excited. These are all, like, such beautiful covers in so different ways. I love beautiful covers. I really do. So I'm very excited. Very excited. And so happy for Danica. Yeah. I am so tired. I'm so tired. But I need to read my pages. I am... Where are we? I am 60 pages into the Blackbird Oracle. I need to get 200 pages in. So where are we? We are here. And we want to be where this white tab is here. This is how much we need to read. So I'm going to go to bed and read in bed. Because again, like, a change of, like, position might help me to be... Just choking on my breath. That's fine. A change of, like, position might help me to be... to rearrange my brain just as... I don't know. I'm really tired. I'm going to go and then I'm going to get up and shower in the morning. And hopefully tomorrow will be a little bit better of a day. So, yeah. I don't even know what day it is. Frankly, it is Wednesday. So far, I am keeping up with my pages. I'll update you all tomorrow. Good night. Guys. None of that was even a word. I didn't even get the word out. Like, guys. Guys. It's here! Did I need this? No. Did I buy it anyway? Obviously. This is the deluxe. I think it's the 20th anniversary edition of Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I don't know if you can see the difference. It's gold and silver. Or there we go. Gold and silver. But here's the, like, you can see the trident head. That was the inspiration for, like, the Percy Jackson trident head. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. I love it so much. So much. This is so pretty. I cannot. We've got some end pages. One shows Camp Half-Blood, and the other one shows Percy's journey. In the book, it also has the most gorgeous artwork, and it has a ribbon bookmark, but I'm not touching that. It has artwork inside as well. So here's one of the Minotaur. So I've seen the Minotaur, Medusa, Poseidon, Zeus, the Furies, I don't know much else. I'm so scared to touch it. I'm covered in glitter now. This is not just foiling, this is glitter. So yes, I'm covered in glitter at the moment. I'm covered in glitter. It's never going to come out. So I got this from 40 Books. Again, here's their little thing. Portobello Bookshop in Portobello, Edinburgh. Don't know if it counts as like Edinburgh or near Edinburgh, but it's the Portobello Bookshop. Again, there's their thing. But yeah, she's so pretty. I'm so excited. I need to not. I'm trying to like not touch it with my grubby little hands. I'm so excited. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Yeah, this will be added to my pretty Percy Jackson collection. I don't know if they're planning on doing all of them or just doing this one. There was a letter in the back from Rick that may have made me cry a little. So yeah, that's that. Fun. I also received finally, I also received an appointment letter from physio, finally. But it doesn't have an appointment on it. No, it's a letter from physio saying that I'm now able to phone them to book an appointment. Just give me an appointment. Honestly, getting appointments is so hard. I get it. I understand. I'm not mad at the NHS or the doctors or the nurses or the physios or the I'm mad at the government for being so crap towards the NHS and defunding them and putting us in this situation. It's just frustrating, you know. And I'm also frustrated at the fact that when you like. Well, I'm kind of frustrated at my doctors as well, because like I go in and I'm like, I have this issue, I would like this solution, and they're like, no, we're going to try this, and I'm like, that's not going to work, and they're like, no, we're going to try this, and then it doesn't work, and they're like, can I have the solution I asked for, please? And you know it's a reason, and I know that people ask for unreasonable solutions all the time, I get that, right? But what I asked for physio, they said no, we'll try this first, which is just to wait and see. No, it's not going to work. I have EDS. The things that work for normal people are not going to work for me. I need physio. And oh look, we need physio. And then it's like, oh, we should really have had physio before now. Like it's my fault. Like I didn't ask for physio earlier, and then you come back and like it's your idea. Like I'm the one that's I literally got a passive aggressive message about we should really try physio. Like I wasn't the one that asked, like I was arguing with her about physio. Like I was the one saying we shouldn't try physio. I was like, yeah, we should try physio. Like I'd asked for physio earlier. That's what annoys me about the doctor. That's where I'm annoyed at the doctor. But I've asked for physio, she said no, and then later on, when we've decided to go for physio, she then comes back to me like she's said physios should have been done, and that I've been the one putting off, despite the fact that I'm the one that asked for physio. Anyway, now I can contact the physio and ask for an appointment again. But even then, like the physio, I've asked for physio anyway, but this physio is to prove that I need to see rheumatology, despite the fact that I have something that is under rheumatology's purview. It's like, I'm not getting into it because we'll be here all day. Anyway, I did not complete my pages yesterday, so I have extra pages to read today. I have a video to edit and post, and now I've got other things going on that I'm going to have to deal with, and I have so much on my plate today and not enough time to deal with it, and I'm getting very stressed out. So I'm going to go and try and deal with that. I'm waiting to start talking to you. I just wanted you to see this, right? I'm eating an apple. Now, most people know about the cheese tax, right? Now Hamish has cheese tax, right? He doesn't just do cheese tax, he has apple tax. You see this? He's watching me like a hawk because he wants some of my apple. That's not sound right. He's already had a bit of my apple, but Kay usually has she'll sit and share an apple with him. I don't tend to share an apple with him because he doesn't like my apple as much as he likes Kay's apple, and he knows he doesn't like my apples because I get Granny Smith apples, right? And he doesn't like Granny Smith apples as much as he likes the Gala apples that Kay gets. but he's insistent on getting a bit of my apple. He's already had a bit of my apple, and this is my apple. I'm having a snack while the oven heats up for me to get something to eat because I've not eaten yet and it's 3 o'clock and I'm really hungry. But he's shaking me down for a bit of apple. I'm really getting shaken down here. Okay, I have finished my apple. Hamish has stopped harassing me for apple. And yes, I did give him another bit of apple because I'm a pushover, okay? Yeah, so I'm reading the Blackbird Oracle, which is a follow-up to the Discovery Witches All Souls trilogy. And I love a Discovery Witches, I love that trilogy, I love the All Souls trilogy, and it is one of my favourite things, one of my favourite book series ever. And I don't know what I expected with the Blackbird Oracle, but part of me is feeling a bit of a disconnect with this book. I don't know if I needed to reread Discovery Witches, if there's things I'm missing with it, but I just feel a bit of disconnect with this book, which is quite disappointing. I feel a disconnect with Matthew and Diana's relationship. I don't know if I'm meant to feel that. Like it just doesn't feel like Matthew and Diana to me. And I don't know if that's like, there's something that's just happened that's making me feel like maybe that's a plot point that is yet to be revealed because of something that's just happened that's making me think maybe there is something going on with that that's just not been revealed yet, and it'll actually make sense the further I read on. But yeah, there's something that's not working for me the way that Discovery Witches and the other 2 books in that series just gripped me. The writing in this is not giving me the same thing. The way we are hop skip jumping over the story, this could be like the thing that everybody struggles with in a Discovery of Witches is how drawn out everything is, and that is what I loved about it. Whereas this, I feel like we could have made this book into, like, it could have been longer. Like, we are like skipping things that I wish we could have drawn out, which other people might like, that we're getting to the point. But for me, it just feels like not in keeping with the original series, and I feel like nobody's going to be picking this up that didn't like a Discovery Witches, so I feel like you need to carry on the right style, if that makes sense. I'm sorry, I feel like I need to sneeze, so if there's like loads of jumps and stuff, that's why, because every time I feel like I'm going to sneeze, I stop talking, and then every time it goes away, I start talking again, but then as I'm talking, it's making me feel like I need to sneeze again, which is then making me, anyway. But yeah, so the reason I stopped at this point to talk to you is because Diana's about to do something I deeply, deeply do not agree with. And I'm going to be very upset with Deborah Harkness if she does what I think she's about to do. Because it is so not in keeping with my values. So not in keeping with what I thought the values of the author would be, and definitely not in keeping with the values of the character. So I'm going to put my hand up for spoilers. Tori, I know you're still going to read this, so like, spoilers. I'll put my hand down when the spoilers are stopped, okay? So, there's a disconnect between Matthew and Diana. There's some kind of issue in their relationship, in their marriage. And it's almost like Diana's trying to feel like there's not. But everybody, like, there are signs that keep pointing out there's something wrong. Matthew doesn't want Diana to go down the dark path, but the goddess wants Diana to go down the dark path. And given that she's a witch, Diana is inclined to listen to the goddess. Her ancestors on her dad's side are dark path witches. Like, that is their magic. Her dad, however, does not agree with it. He is a weaver. Diana is a weaver and has the dark path ability as well. Her mother started down the dark path, and as far as Diana is aware, stopped because her dad gave her an ultimatum, which Diana does not agree with. And now, here's the thing, right? So, just to preface this, Diana had her magic bound when she was younger in the original series. The choice was taken away from her to have use of her magic. Diana is very much while she, and this is where a lot of people disagree and differ with me when it comes to Diana and Matthew. Matthew is very much a overprotective alpha wolf style man, and now the vampires in this are likened to wolves. So the vampires in this are like a pack. They refer to them as packs. So they act like wolves. Like, they are very much likened to wolves, in the sense that they have like structure, and they have very strong mating bonds, and they have this possessiveness and desire to protect their mates and their pack and their family, etc. And so they have like mates in this. They have like a fated mates scenario. Diana is Matthew's mate. Isabeau was Philippe's mate. We have Fernando and Hugo were mates. We have mates in this, like more than just one set of mates. And with every mate scenario, mates are bonded in such a way that basically, like, if you go after someone's mate, it's curtains. Like, you cannot, like, these vampires do not take prisoners. When Philippe was in danger, Isabeau literally, like, decimated the witches to get him back. She did not care. She is known centuries later as, or not centuries later, decades later, as a witch killer still, because of what she did to get Philippe back. Like, and there's a thing, like, Matthew, from Isabeau, from her line, because she is the one that turned him, she is his mother, vampirically, in the structure of how the vampires work, has this thing called blood rage, which is a disease within the vampiric DNA structure, which causes him to go, it's almost like a bloodlusty type of, like, it's a rage issue, where, like, it's almost like the logical brain disconnects, and it's like, takes him from Bruce Banner to the Hulk. Like, there's no logic there, there is no thing but it can connect to that mating bond. So if it was Diana that was in trouble, all bets are off. Like, that is the kind of character, so, like, he is overly protective and overly, like, Becca in the book said it was like Twilight for adults. It is like Twilight for adults. I totally see where she gets that. I didn't see it until she said it, but I totally see that. And Matthew's protective instinct, a lot of people can't vibe with that. I totally get that. I completely see why you might not like that. I like it. I like that sort of thing. I like that thing. But he also recognises, he refers to Diana as my lion, my lioness. That she, in lions, the lionesses are the hunters. They are the ones that bring home, like, the food. Like, he sees her as, he says in this book, he does not see her as his equal. He sees her as his better. He sees her as more powerful than him. He sees her as above him. Like, he doesn't see her as weaker. He doesn't see her even as equal. He sees her as better than him. To him, she is above him in pecking order. Like, so he is not seeing her as this petite little thing that he needs to protect. He is her mate, and he is bound to her, and he is there to do anything he can to protect her and their kids. Like, that is his whole thing. Like, that is the whole thing about the mating with the vampires and the way Matthew is. So, like, it's not this thing where he thinks that she is weak and needs protected. It is a point of, like, I don't know how else to understand it. So, just to say, it's not that Matthew believes in any way that she needs pandering, protecting, or coddling in any way. That's not what it is. But he does not want her to go on this dark path. He is against it. But in the end, he trusts her judgment. And he is like, he is worried. He does say to her outright, he is worried that he may not like who she becomes if she goes down this dark path. Because he has darkness in him. He sees the blood rage as darkness. And he thinks that if she embraces the dark path, she will embrace darkness, and she will have that side as well. And he doesn't like that in him, and he does not want, he is worried that that is what she will become, and he doesn't like that in him, so he might not like that in her, and that is what he fears. He fears that he will no longer like that in her, like her. But they've come to, like, she's managed to find a way to explain to him kind of exactly what it actually is, rather than what he perceives it to be. And now he is on side. He is like, right, okay, I get what it is, because he's not a witch, so he doesn't understand, and he is on side. He is all with it, but there's still some kind of disconnect in their marriage. There's something going on, and there has been for the whole book. And the oracle cards that she has, the Blackbird Oracle, are sentient. They know kind of all oracle cards are sentient, and the oracle cards have been guiding her from the start, from the moment she got them, and there are links being made. So she has the oracle cards, she's passed the first test. For the first test, the goddess has then given her this familiar, it's not a familiar, but it's like a familiar, and this familiar plus the oracle deck have given her this set of ingredients. And then another thing, this Book of Shadows has opened on this page for a type of love spell, which uses the ingredients that the owl gave her. Like, literally the owl dropped them in her lap, and then was like, the way the owls do. And it includes a story, or in part of the recipe, the way this recipe uses the story of the way the recipe, it makes sense when you read it, but it uses a whole thing about, like, the unicorn and the fire and the green dragon, blah blah blah. And previously the cards had pulled a unicorn and something else, and it all tied together. And Diana is like, alright, okay, I'll take the hint. The goddess is telling me I need to use this love potion of Matthew. And it is very much not like a love potion, it's very much like a love potion, like to make them on a more intimate side. It's like, use your bridal bed, like choose your bridal bed, etc. It is very much going to be a intimate type love potion. And this is where I'm not happy. I don't agree with using magic to manipulate somebody like that, because it is the same as using drugs, frankly. If you're using something to alter someone's state of mind or body to get them into bed, that is not consent. And I don't care if you're married to them or not. I don't care if you're magical creatures. I don't care. It's not consent. And that goes against everything, like that just purely goes against my beliefs. And also, Diana as a character is so upset when she learns about everything that has been taken out of her hands. So this is where I was talking about Diana earlier with her. She had her powers bound by her parents. She is angry that choice has been taken away from her. She is always angry. She is always indignant when her choices are taken away from her. And Matthew, like I said, he doesn't coddle her. He doesn't do anything like that. He always makes sure that even when he is being overbearing, that he tries to take her, like, even when he doesn't want her to do the dark path, he's like, I will explain to you why I don't want you to do this, and we will have a discussion about it because it affects us both in our marriage and in our family. It affects our whole family, so I feel like we need to discuss this, but at the end of the day, it is your decision and I will respect that. And so he respects her decisions despite how it affects him. Anyway, like I say, they discuss it as a family because it will affect them as a family. And he is supposed to be the one that people are like, oh, like he's an overbearing man, blah, 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 you know. And yet she is now going to do something that goes totally against everything she believes in, everything her husband has respected. Like, there are so many situations where, like, it has been established time and time and time again that this is behaviour that none of these characters will stand for. Like, they are very much on the first part of their relationship for so long. People call this a slow burn because for so long Matthew refuses to touch her because he knows once they mate, that mating bond will take him over the edge, and he will be unable to walk away from her. Like, it will seal that mating bond, and for vampires, they like mate, and they mate strongly, and that triggers that whole thing, and it could affect his blood rage and things like that. Like, he doesn't want to take that choice away from her because he knows he will become like a level 10 clinger. Like, and he doesn't want to take that choice away from her, that he will want to be around her all the time. And so, even then, he doesn't tell her that that's why he's not touching her. And he is forced into telling her that by Philippe, that's why. And she is even angry about that he is not taking advantage of her, or he is not, like, being intimate with her. Like, he's not pushing to be intimate with her. He's actually holding back from being intimate with her because of that. And she's mad about that because he's not communicated that. And they go forward being like, okay, we will communicate, we will do this, we will do that. And now, this action is just spitting in the face of all of that. And now, again, I've not read past this part, so it may be that there's, you know, this may subvert the whole thing of, like, she might tell Matthew, here's what this is, like, here's this spell, do we want to do this? Because, like, he has to drink it. So she might explain it to him and he's like, let's do this. That would be fine. Like, if he is aware that this will alter whatever, fine. She might want to do it, and then something happens where she ends up having to tell him about it and they have that discussion, or, like, I don't know, it might not happen in the way that I'm worried about, but if it does, I'm going to be very angry, because this just totally subverts everything. Like, that you can, I mean, I'm sure you understand why I'm so upset about it, because how can you, in the year 2024, release a book like that when previously in all of your books, like, even in Times Convert, there's so much to do with Phoebe's well-being and, like, consent, and, like, it's so much so, even with Matthew turning, when we're going back into the past, and Matthew turning, oh, what's his son called? That's terrible. I can't remember what his son's called. I'll look at the family tree, just a second. Marcus. With Matthew turning Marcus, there's so much about the consent. Even though Marcus was dying, like, they're absolutely devastated when they find out Jack is a vampire because they thought he was turned without consent. Like, there's so much. And then we're going to subvert that and have Diana do something without Matthew's consent. Without Matthew's consent. Like, not that it would be better if it was someone else without someone else's consent, but somebody she has, like, her husband that she's spent so long making this life with, and, like, they've gone through so much. Like, I really hope that's not what happens, but at this moment in time I want you to stop and record this and just, like, yeah, I really hope that's not the point. I just needed to do this spoiler part because I am really concerned at the moment about what's going to happen. So yeah, my fridge is probably about to beep because I've been recording for like 20 minutes. So yeah, like I say, I am concerned. I don't know anybody that will have read this by the time, so I've probably just been talking to myself, or somebody who either does not want to read this, and yeah, but yeah. If you did listen to my rant, thank you very much. If you have read this book and watched this back, also, yeah, that whole rant might be totally pointless, but oh well. In this moment in time, this is how I feel, and I want to record it. So hopefully future Andy has a better update for us. Okay, we're good. We're good. I don't need to be angry. It's good. We'll do spoilers just for a second again. Matthew knew what he was getting into. She told him it was fine. We're all good. We don't have to be railing against one of our favourite authors. We're all good, but there's still a problem. But it's fine. It didn't solve everything, but the thing I was worried about was it's fine. Matthew was aware of what he was getting into. It wasn't, the consent was there. It was all good. Anyway, I'm going back to reading. Also, I'd like to just point out that someone's requested a whiskey, and she said he poured a generous measure of a single malt from Islay, and whiskey is spelled correctly. So see, it can be done. It can be done, and by an American author, no less. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Hello, yes, we're back. Saturday's the day it's all happening. This just arrived. Delivered between 12:30 and 2:30. That there says 16:55, which for anybody who can't read 24-hour clocks is 5 to 5. 5 to 5, which is definitely not. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. But yeah, this just arrived. And I know exactly what it is because, you know, I only ordered, well, I didn't order anything from Fairloop. Pia ordered it from Fairloop for me because Pia was unhauling something from Fairloop that she didn't want, but I wanted, so I got what she got, and then when the subsequent things came out, Pia then ordered them from Fairloop, and I got them so that I could have the collection. So, at this time of year, at this release, I think we all know, if you know what it is, you know what it is. Just in case you don't want to see it, I will tell you what it is. Realising that I don't want to just be like, surprise, and then ruin it for somebody. So this is the Fairloop edition of Queen Bee by Juno Dawson. So this is the novella to go along with HMRC, Her Majesty's Royal Coven, and the Shadow Cabinet, which is the second book, so this is the novella. So if you don't want to see what it looks like, go scrolling further forward now. Okay, so I'm about to unbox it. I will not make a big deal of it, I'll just quickly unbox it, so it shouldn't be more than a couple of minutes. Okay? Warning issued. If you're still here, this is now on you. Oh. Here's some paper. So first we have the little Fairloop thing. Your little thank you, and it's so funny because I think it's the same sort of pink as the first one in the regular edition, like the Waterstones regular edition. My god, this, what did you put the Fairloop, what did you glue this bubble wrap with? Oh my god. Okay. Ta-da! So it is this gorgeous bright pink and yellow. I think this matches potentially the HMRC. I think the Fairloop HMRC might be this bright pink and yellow. And then we've got the Queen herself. We've got the bee and the Boleyn necklace. And it is signed with these beautiful splatter edges, end papers, can't speak. And the pièce de résistance, as it were, is the edges. It says, le temps viendra, j'ai un Boleyn. Times something, I am Boleyn. I don't know what viendra means, but le temps means the time, j'ai un Boleyn, I am Boleyn. And it's got the bee from her necklace. It won't focus on it because of my face. But yeah, that is the the time will come, I am Boleyn. There we go. That's the, this is in there. Le temps viendra, j'ai un Boleyn. The time will come, I am Boleyn. Inscription within Anne Boleyn's personal prayer book, late 1520. So I have already read this, so this has not even touched my TBR, which is great. I wanted to see what this looks like next to the others, because I'm pretty sure this matches the colours of the first one in the Fairloop edition. I'm not sure. I'm unsure. But I really like the edges. There is a little bit of I don't know if it's just dusty or what, but like there's like a white line through the edges where the paint's not complete. But you know what, I'm not too bothered about that. They're probably not going to replace it for that anyway, and I'm not too fussed. It's fine. But yeah, so there's that. I'm gonna go back to reading because I need to get to reading. I am 200-ish pages behind in my reading today. Hello, please excuse the terrible lighting and the here. I'm up in the library, obviously. I've just finished the Blackbird Oracle, and I need to put these back in their dust jackets. I've just finished Blackbird Oracle, and I have to say I'm quite disappointed. I'm giving it a 3.5. It just doesn't stand up to the original trilogy, which you can see behind me there. It doesn't stand up to the original, which is unfortunate. The writing is not as good, the plot points, the plotting is not as good. It just falls short. I'm afraid it just falls short, so that is a wee bit of a shame. Yeah, that is just a wee bit of a shame. Overall, I liked it. I just feel like it was a wee bit, I don't know, it just fell flat for me at some point, so that's a shame. But anyway, I'm gonna have to make room on my shelf to get my copy of Queen Bee up there. So I was wrong. It's the standard. So it's the standard edition that's the same colour. This is the standard copy of Queen Bee, which I also need to put back in its thing. Oh gosh, I need to put things away. So these two also got read this month. This got read this month. This needs to go in its jacket. I love that the end pages for this are kind of the colour, like the Waterstones edition is like kind of has a nod to the again, right, so look away if you don't want to see. Look away now if you don't want to see the Fairylight edition of Queen Bee, okay? And I'll tell you when you can come back, okay? Look away now. So here's the standard edition, and here is the or here's the Waterstones edition, but it's the standard edition with sprayed edges, and here's the Fairylight edition with the edges. So here you can see it's kind of just a colour inversion. So this has got the pink, the yellow, and the black. So you see how it's the same pink. See how it's, so it's almost like an inversion. Okay, it's away now. It's away now. But yeah, so I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take these three downstairs. So I am reading Femina. I am about a third of the way through this just now. I am, where did I say I was? I am just finished Warriors and Leaders, so I'm here. Oh, I need to go back and have a look at the images that are in this because I missed this. So yeah, I'm about here. And bearing in mind, this book isn't actually as big. There's so many, like there's a massive bibliography in the end of it. So it ends here. So ignore this. This is how far through I am. So I will need to pop. I've got bookmarks downstairs, but I will pop this bookmark in here. Because this is how far through I am. I'm also going to take down Vampires Never Gold and do like maybe a story or something out of this every, I don't know, we'll figure it out. I am also going to take down The Old Parent Fair by Tessa Bailey because that's what I'm going to read next. So I'm going to take these through downstairs because this is what I'm reading next. So yeah, I will speak to you. This vlog is going to be very weekend heavy. Hello, it's Monday. Yes, I did not vlog at all yesterday, I don't think. I don't think I vlogged at all yesterday. Yeah, I will give you an update on what happened yesterday. So we went to a wedding. It was so much fun. We so they had, I'm not going to show you photos because I've asked that nobody put up any photos or anything on social media, so that's why I didn't film yesterday at the wedding. Bride and groom, I've asked that nobody put anything on social media before they do, so there'll be no, I just didn't film at all. I was spending the day with Kay and some friends, and such a good day. Honestly, if we didn't have the wedding we did, something like that would have been perfect, because it was just amazing. So yeah, there was only 24 of us, including the bride and groom. It was great. I even ate cheesecake, and I don't like cheesecake, and I like that cheesecake. We've got wedding cake in the fridge for us to eat later, because none of us were feeling up to eating cake after eating a meal. They had a fire pit with marshmallows. I smell like fire pit. It was really overwhelming when we came home last night. Just the smell of fire pit on our clothes and stuff, because I kept getting, like, it was a wee bit windy last night, so we kept getting blown with fire pit. But yeah, we had a really good night last night. My nail, I'm holding the phone so you can't see it, and I know some people get squeamish as well. They had an archery thing set up last night, or yesterday, kind of evening-ish, like after the ceremony, while they were getting their photos done. They had a guy who had owls, and he had archery, so we could do that while we were waiting on them coming back, instead of just milling about drinking. We were doing that instead. And, well, I mean, people were obviously drinking, but, like, we could do that instead. I didn't drink, I was driving, so I was drinking Coke all night, all day, and, yeah, so I released the bow string wrong so I hold the bow with this hand and release the string with my right hand, so I shoot right-handed, and I ripped 2 nails. I broke 2 nails, this one and this one, on the other hand. Unfortunately, this one ripped past where, like, the skin is, so it started bleeding and everything. And to be fair, it didn't rip and bleed when I did it with the string, but instead of, like, just, like, putting a plaster on it or something like that, I decided to just, like, tear the nail off, which then obviously ripped the skin and then started. I could have done it in a much smarter way, but I was like, I was only my first shot, and I was like, I have things to do, so I just ripped the nail off. And then the second time I took my other, like, this nail, but it took it, like, so it went from being, like, this length to this length. I need to sort my nails out, honestly. I don't tend to do anything with my nails, I just let them grow and break, so I tend to just ignore my nails. I don't get my nails done or anything, so yeah, it's because when I pulled it back, you're meant to straighten your fingers out to release it, but for some reason I went like that with my fingers when I released it, and so because I had my fingers hooked round, it just ripped the nail off with it, because of course you've got, like, however many pounds of pressure behind the bowstring, and I know better. It's my own damn fault. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." It's like, it's just a little bit of blood, and they're like, "It's not hard." I was like, "No," because I break my nails so often, and they often break past, like, it happens a lot, but not, like, obviously that, but it's because the bowstring that I did it, so, like, I knew what I was doing, like, anyway, yeah, so, yeah, broke 2 nails last night doing archery, like an idiot. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. Douglas was looking after Hamish, so we were only 15 minutes along the road. It was great, so we could just jump in the car, go home not long past 10 o'clock, so we left around 10 o'clock, and had a great night. I really did have a great night. Unfortunately, before we left in the morning, Blanca, I don't know if I told you about Blanca, we had another chicken brought to us. We took her to the vet. The vet was not thinking she was going to last. Unfortunately, she passed away on Sunday morning. Katie was holding her on her lap while she went through the process of dying. So we were with her the whole time. And she spent our last couple of days being pampered. And, you know, she seemed to be perking up. That's the thing. She was eating. She seemed to be perking up, and then she did something. Kay was about to go in the shower, and she did something, like, Blanca did something, and Kay was like, that's something similar to what Betty did before she died. Because Kay found Betty, like, just after she'd gone. And she was like, Betty did that about 20 minutes before she died. And so Kay, like, picked her up, like, wrapped her in a towel and brought her through. And we sat with her. And sure enough, yeah, she went. So, yeah. It's not very nice, but at least she was, you know, safe and warm and not getting harassed by other chickens and stuff. So we did what we could for her, but we got her too late to do anything. But I don't know if, again, I can't remember if I told you or not. Vet said she had some kind of mass inside her abdomen. She didn't know if it could be an egg forming, or children outside, or if it could be something like a mass, like it could be potentially cancerous or something like that. So we don't know if, like, there was, you know, something potentially there like that. But, you know, she seemed peaceful. Well, she was just sort of like had her head on Kay's arm. Yeah, so that was not very nice, but it's our new life as chicken hospice, apparently, is what we're doing. Reading wise, I'm just going to include what I finished today in my reading. So I finished Femina today. I just listened to the last little bit of the audiobook. I like doing non-fiction sometimes through audio, because it just makes it sound more like a lecture than reading the books, which can be a little bit dry, especially when you get the author reading it, because it just puts a little bit of life into it. Because, like I say, like, sometimes non-fictions can come across a little bit dry. I will go through this again just to have a look at some of the photographs, or not photographs, but there's like printed photographs in here, so I'm probably going to have a look through them. But yeah, I finished this. I gave it, in the end, I gave it like a 3-star. It was fine. It was very much heavy on religious figures in the medieval period. And while I appreciate it, it kind of glanced off many women in a short period of time. And yeah, I get that. Like, I it was valuable for what it did, but it was not what I was looking for. I would have liked for this to go really in depth. I don't know if it's just like, I mean, it does say Middle Ages. So yeah, I think I maybe just misunderstood, or not quite. Yeah, I think I expected something I went into expecting something different. So, but at the same time as well, like, it was very, I don't know. I feel like it glanced off a lot of things and it didn't go in depth in a way that I wanted. But at the same time, I understand why it didn't, because as the author explains, we don't have historical record of these women in the way that we have historical records of the men of the time, because historical records were written by the men. And so anything we have of the women are scraps that were saved from destruction, or things that were written about them by men, and often not in flattering ways. You know, so, or things that we have to extrapolate. So she was talking about a tapestry that's not actually a tapestry, it's an embroidery, but it's known as a tapestry. And she was saying about how everybody talks about the kings that it depicts, but nobody talks about the women that created it. And I would have loved to go in on that a lot more, but it didn't go in the way I wanted it to. But at the same time, I can also appreciate that we don't have the information. She doesn't have access to that, and so I'm really conflicted on for what she tried to do, for what she's doing with this book, for the point of it. Like, I really enjoyed it, but the content of it just explained that we don't have content for it, if that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like maybe I need to sit with it for a little while, because I did only just finish it recently. Like, really, really recently. So, you know, but, yeah. I don't know if I updated that I started Vampires Never Get Old. This is an anthology with multiple authors, and it is edited by Zoe Cordova and Natalie C. Parker, and it has, I don't know how many stories in it, but I am a few stories in there. I got to the Boy in the Bell, 1, 2, 3, 3 stories in, and so far they've been quite interesting. Each of them deals with a slightly different thing. There's been one, like, I've not read an anthology for so long that it's like, see, trying to like get my brain into the whole reading anthology, that like, because each time I'm like, well, where's the rest of the story? And I'm like, you're reading an anthology. Like, the more, like, I feel like the first story I was like, oh, that wasn't that interesting. And then I was like, the second story I was like, oh, that was more interesting. And the third story I was like, oh, that was more interesting. And I'm like, wait, was it actually less interesting, or were you just not used to reading the short story format? Because the more I think about it, I actually think it was really interesting, because there was a twist that I wasn't expecting, that there was hints of, and I was like, wait a minute. And then like, but then to me it feels like these are outlines that, like, these feel like outlines to stories that can be expanded on, or like prompts for stories that can be expanded on. But I don't know if that's just because I'm so used to reading full-length novels that I'm so unused to short story collections, if that makes sense. And I know that one of the stories that's in here is First Kill, by V. Schwab, which ended up being a series on Netflix, or it was a cancelled series on Netflix. So it got like, sorry, I'm flashing my bra at you. So it ended up getting extended, and I don't know how. I think it's me, but like, oh, my belly's rumbling now. Oh my god, this is just failing. Anyway, yeah, the more I think about it, the more I appreciate these stories and the discussions that I think could come from them. So, what I really, really appreciate actually is, at the end of each story, there is a little paragraph or so or a little page, say, from the editors, just kind of reflecting on the story. Or, so, the first story, for example, deals with the creation of a vampire, and so the reflection is on creation myths. And then there's one about slayers, so it's like a reflection on slayers within vampire lore, etc. You know, so I really appreciate that. I've never seen that in, and again, I don't really read anthologies, so I don't know if that's common or not, but I really like that. Like, I like this ability to stop and reflect on it, and like the ability to have have that thought about like other vampire mythology and lore in other places, because whenever I love it when someone asks online, it's like, can vampires do this? And I'm like, or do vampires do that? Or and I'm like, it depends on which ones you're talking about. Like, are we talking Dracula? Are we talking Nosferatu? Are we talking Twilight? Are we talking Anne Rice? Are we talking Lindsay Sands? Like, depending on the vampire lore, depends on what your vampires can do. Like, it depends. Like, can they go out in the sun? What happens when they go out in the sun? Holy war, garlic, religion, like the bite. Because there's one in here about the creation myth, and they're about the fact that different vampire lore has different things for vampire bites. So some vampires, they bite you once, you turn into a vampire. Some vampires, you have to have multiple bites. Some vampires, you have to swap blood. Some vampire, it just, and that is the beauty of the vampire myth, and that's what's so cool about this book, is that it's getting everybody's different interpretations of vampire myths and things around, like with the Slayers, different things. So there's even mention of like Buffy Summers in here, in the Slayer story, because Buffy exists, not Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show, exists in the world where this girl is a real Slayer, and she's like, oh, it's not like, that's not how it really is, sort of thing. But she also likes the show, and it's, I don't know, I'm really liking this. I am 72 pages in, so I am like thingied off a few, so I'm here, and that's to the next story. So I'm just like doing a few stories, and then stopping, and then reading my book, and then going back and forward. I am also reading The Au Pair Affair. I am over halfway through it now. So, I'm exactly halfway through it now. I'm 183 pages in, and I have 183 pages left. And I will admit, something just happened that I'm a bit like, what? What? Like, I don't know if it's because I was tired when I was reading it, or like, but like, we've skipped a step. Like, we've had a wee bump. Like, when you miss a step when you're walking up and down the stairs. We've had one of those moments where I'm like, this seems a bit unrealistic in the romance lore section of it. Like, they've gone from like 0 to 60, and I'm like, you've skipped a step, Tessa. You've skipped a step here. You need to anyway. But you know what? I don't really care. I like, the thing with Tessa Bailey is, I always say, like, her books fall into one or two categories. You get her serious books, and you get her what I call spoof books, or parody books. And this is one of her serious books. So in her serious books, I feel like the romance kind of has to be separated for me, or this is the way I read romance books. The romance is kind of, or the smart side of it is secondary. Like, I don't read it for the smart, and so I can detach myself from the smart. Like, I know some people can't, like, the smart can make or break a book, and they're like, oh, that, like, they'll be like, that was good smart, that was bad smart. Like, it doesn't particularly bother me if it's badly written. Yeah, like, I'm explaining this badly, but for this, like, I trust Tessa Bailey to write this smart, like, well done, like, to have it be, or for what I want out of it, for it to be consensual, for it to be communicative, for it to be kind of, like, that's not what I want to talk about right now. What I want to talk about is the way her characters are written in this book. So her characters, to me, are written really well in the sense of who they are. I mean, like I say, this book is going 0 to 60, but it's a romance book. Like, that is, like, this book feels like the characters could stretch a timeline. Like, they are being concertinaed, absolutely, but these characters feel like, if you were to stretch it out, they could be so real. Like, he is a single dad who is struggling to take the weight of the world on his shoulders. He feels responsible for everybody. He is a defenseman in the hockey team, and he is a defenseman in his real life. Like, he feels responsible for everybody, and he takes it on his shoulders, and that responsibility is crushing him, and he doesn't realise that's what it is. He just feels like when if you're that kind of person, and you realise that when you're taking on responsibility for everybody around you, when you start to feel that crushing you, instead of thinking, okay, I need help, or okay, I need to deal with this somehow, you start to feel like a failure. And you take that on as a burden as well. And that is how he is acting. That is how he is written. And that I feel called out. Like, I completely can see him so realistically. Like, there are bits in the, like, there are parts of the, like, obviously they're book characters, like, they're not entirely real. They take exaggerated characteristics. I get that. But there are so many parts of it where I'm like, I can see them as real people. I can see the realities of these people, these features. And the female main character, she has gone through something extremely traumatic, and she is reacting like she's gone through something traumatic. Like, I so often read book characters who go through something traumatic and they bounce back like nothing's happened, and they react like nothing's happened, and they just brush it off. And you know what? I get it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, necessarily, because some people are like that. Like, I've done that. I've gone through stuff that some people are like, how are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know, I just am. Because I can compartmentalise in ways that other people can't. And I'm not saying that as a flex, I'm not saying that as a brag, I'm not in any way, and I'm not saying it's necessarily healthy. It's just, my brain has certain ways of deciding how to react to things. Everybody's brain does. And yeah, so I've gone through, like, I've reacted to things that in ways that other people wouldn't, and I'm okay with things happening in ways that other people might take longer to get over, you know. So yeah, I get that some people can do that, but not everybody can. And it's not often that we see represented in books the journey that characters, especially romance characters, take to get over these horrible things. And what happened to her was not necessarily the worst thing that could happen, but, you know, in the scenario that she was in, it was a best case scenario for that horrible scenario. You know, it could have gone so much worse, but it was still an absolutely terrifying scenario. It was still like a horrible thing to happen, and she was still traumatised by it, and she's still dealing with it in her own way, and she's still dealing with it years later, and she's still traumatised, and she's acting traumatised. Like, her brain is still, like, I feel anxious reading this book. It is eliciting emotion within me, which I think, to me, that tells me that was well written. Like, I've never been in the scenario she was in, and yet I feel the anxiety in my own body. Like, I feel my stomach turning, I feel my pulse racing, and she's not even... Do you know what I mean? Like, I love that she's put the representation of someone who is dealing with trauma and isn't just over it. Someone who is actively dealing with something traumatic that happened and is not completely whole with it, is working through it, and that's okay. Like, she knows she needs to work through it, and she knows that that's okay, that she's still working through it. I really, really, if I were ever to meet Tessa Bailey, this is one of the things I would say to her. It's like, I really appreciate this book because of the way she treats this character who has this trauma. Like, if I was somebody who had trauma in this way, and I read this book, if I was able to, because I know for some people it would bring back the trauma and it would trigger them, and I totally get that, because I've already said to someone, don't read this book, because that would probably set you off. But if I was somebody who had that sort of trauma, I would feel validated, because this is, to me, this is Tessa Bailey saying, this is a completely valid reaction, but you are still, like, this is a completely valid reaction, and you are still worthy, you are still brave, you're still a whole person, you're smart, you're kind, you're beautiful, you are wonderful. Like, she is holding this character up and saying, look at this incredible woman, and yet she is still like, I feel like I'm explaining it so badly, but I just really appreciate the way she's done this. I feel like there's such a push for everybody to be okay once something traumatic has happened. And I feel like this is Tessa Bailey's way of saying you don't need to be okay, but like, it's okay for you not to be okay, but you will be. Like, I don't know, I know what I feel in my head, but it's so hard to articulate it. But I really do appreciate the way she's written these characters, because it feels like there's so much heart being put into it. The story behind it is a little bit ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie, but the characters, and that's what I love about books. We all know I'm a character-driven reader, and the characters in this book, to me, are so well written. Again, they're kind of concertinaed in that they are extremes of these things. So, like, the decisions they make, the rationales they make, the snap decisions they make, it's all pushed for the plot. I get that. I do get that. But to sit and discuss, like, if you were to sit and discuss the characters and sit and pick apart pieces of it, I think it would be an excellent thing, discussion and things like that. Anyway, this has gone long enough. I've got to edit this, and this is such a long end clip. Hamish is even bored of me now. Hamish is mostly bored of me anyway. But thank you so much for watching. I am so excited to finish this book. I will be finishing it in next week's vlog. Next week, I have a busy week. Getting my hair done, I'm getting my tattoo removed, I'm going to see Len Penny with Vicky. And then I'll be packing up, and then the week after will be the cabin week, and also my birthday. I'm 32. Not Wednesday coming, but next Wednesday, so a week the day after you see this. 32. And do you know what? I'm not actually that bothered about it, which is weird. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I've got to edit this. I've got to get something to eat because my stomach is... I'm so hungry. I've decreased how much breakfast I have, and then my body is like, no. There was an uneven number of Weetabix biscuits in my thing, and so I had to so I wouldn't have an odd number. Once I finish this packet, it'll go back to normal. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not like trying to like starve myself or anything. That's not why I'm eating less breakfast. It's just because it's an odd number in the thing. Which is totally ridiculous when I say it like that. But I also know I'm coming home at 2 o'clock and I can have lunch, so it's fine. I'm gonna go. I'm going. I'm leaving. I'm going to make lunch. Try again. I'm going to make myself some lunch, and I'm going to edit this video. And I'm very sorry that I kept you for this long, but thank you so much if you've watched this far. Please let me know by leaving me, what shall we do today? What shall we do today? Leave me some kind of food emoji, because I am so hungry right now, and I need to go make myself some lunch. Hamish already had his, so you know, the important things are taken care of. But yeah, thanks again so much for watching if you've made it to this point, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye.